No.
I don't know.
Here's a bush.
I need to be saved from this hell. God.
I hit recording.
All
Awesome.
right, guys, welcome back to the Everyman's podcast.
You give me a visual reaction every time you say everyone. Right at the
Hey
beginning of these.
everyone!
Actually, real quick, can you guys hear?
Welcome
my-
back to the podcast.
I'm gonna assume you can't hear it.
No, we definitely can't hear anything.
Okay, good. Because last time you could hear Fallout through my fucking thing, I could hear the Pip-Boy sounds.
We can hear Fallout. We can hear the fucking Legos from the first two.
Oh yeah. There were only three, or there were only two, not the first two. Actually, you're right. Never mind. Fuck you.
The guy who has to
welcome-
edit these and
You're the one
upload.
with the bad audio.
Welcome back to the podcast. And
Welcome,
Welcome back to the Gat podcast, where we have the
The
biggest
Gatcast.
gats in the whole
we have
universe.
some giant ass. A lot of ass.
now, Letter was actually making a book about how hard it is to live with a gat. Can you describe some of your experiences with this today?
Go to hell, Loop.
Letter, on average, how big is your ass? Just out of curiosity.
On average, like on a good day. Let's give us on a good day.
Like 3 metric tons?
If you have to use the
Why am I under
clothing
attack
meas-
here?
if you have to use that measuring tape for measuring your waist
I
and
did
shit.
literally nothing, and you fuckers immediately came after me.
That's
In my ass.
precisely
Like, what the fuck is wrong
why.
with you?
Eat my ass?
You
Alright,
just-
well.
You just have a nice ass. What do you want to expect?
Welcome back to the
No.
Loading Screen Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Hugh, also known as P-Funk in the channel.
I thought the person who committed suicide and
Just
killed
cut him
themselves,
off during the intro.
we stole their
Again! You always do this. What is your function?
Welcome back.
Electric kick.
Electric Kick. Quick, tell a funny joke before I do the intro. Oh, now he's quiet, huh?
I was just trying to think of a really dumb joke. Couldn't think of one.
The joke was that nobody said a joke. That was pretty good. I think that works as itself.
Yeah. Alright. Welcome back,
That's a good
everyone.
joke.
God damn it!
This is all good. You should just leave this.
Get!
Yeah,
You've
it's
got to leave this in.
you got to leave. Alright.
Today we have a special guest. We have a bit of a special guest, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's
Joining
just the
us
intro's
today.
not gonna get done.
His name
It's
is.
never going to.
His name
Dude,
is.
Loop, shut up. Let him do
Oh,
his
wait, I thought we already did it.
No!
Oh, I thought that counted as the thing, so I was gonna say this was a special guest time. Okay, well, continue.
There is a special guest. What the fuck are you talking about?
Editor,
Huh?
welcome
Welcome.
over here.
Well, yeah, Anu hasn't been in the past 3.
I haven't been in any.
Exactly, he's a special guest.
I've been in some of the campaign streams for the YouTube.
Yeah, you've been in, 2 different
At
campaigns.
least two.
2 different
Yeah.
campaign games.
Yeah, he was in Reach, I think, and he was in 3 that one time.
Twice.
Yeah,
And
you
then
were
he went to go home. Or he went to go to bed or something.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Loading Screen Podcast. I'm your host, Mac. You also known as P-Funk in the server. I'm here with my
Also known
guests.
as Daddy.
Yeah, also known as Daddy.
Also
Also known
known
as
as
the Rizzmaster.
P-Gat.
Yeah. Gat Funk.
Also known as the most tired person in the world, because I'm going to be going on a
Matthew-
flight at 5 in the morning tomorrow.
Matthew Gringat.
Where you going?
South Carolina to go visit my grandparents for
Did you hear what I
Thanksgiving.
said?
We will
Did
now
you hear what
talk
I said?
We're specifically ignoring you, Loop.
We chose to ignore you, you fucking nerd.
We're moving on.
I said Gat over his head. We gotta stop saying that. Though.
We heard it. We heard it.
Been-
Anyway,
You're the
continue,
one who
P-Funk.
keeps
20
doing it!
times.
There's no
Oh,
one
God.
here is bringing it up except you.
The P-Funk is doing his intro, and you're like, "Did you hear it? Did you hear it? Did you hear it?"
Did you see it?
Damn it.
If you look at the top right of your
You
screen,
choose- You can now
This is
see
my name.
giant red fucking circle and arrow.
So anyway, let's start with the first topic of discussion. This kind of leads us in because it's pretty similar to what we just did, or what we were just talking about. So our first discussion of today, Letter, or actually this goes out to everyone, not just Letter. I was thinking Letter earlier, but because he'd probably have the most visceral reaction to it.
Visual.
But I think this works for everyone. Guys, what would you do if, let's say, for example, you met like the most beautiful woman in the world, and she was just like perfect
Oh,
for you? Like you
God.
talked to her,
Disconnecting.
and it was just beautiful.
This is the shortest episode
No,
of the
no.
record.
No, and it was actually perfect. Everything's fine until she was like, okay, well, you have to marry into my religion. What would you do?
Well,
Like
okay.
genuinely.
Question. Okay, hold on. What religion? Like, are you assuming that we are the current religion that we currently are?
Yeah,
And
let's just
then-
say you are what you ever like. Let's say
Okay,
you
and
are
then let's
Christian.
let's say
you're Christian,
she's
if you're
polar
agnostic.
opposite. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Let's just assume
Okay,
that she's the
so-
polar opposite of whatever you are.
Okay, so like for me, I guess that would be like okay, because I was born Catholic, I grew up Christian, and then I guess what like Hindu or something.
Let's just
I
say,
don't know.
let's just say for your sake, we'll just say Muslim, because I feel like that's pretty.
No,
like,
wouldn't it be-
Muslim is the same god.
No, wouldn't
Muslim is the
wouldn't it be
same god.
Buddhist?
They're one and the same. It would be Buddhist.
No, it would be
it's
like-
Abrahamic, but it doesn't. No, I don't think
That's
Jesus
not polar
is good.
opposite. I was thinking Hindu or Buddhist, or wow, I can't
Yeah.
even say it. Like
Something-
something
Buddhism.
because they believe in different gods. Like at least
That's-
Jewish people and Muslims believe in the same god. They just have separate beliefs.
But
Yeah,
that wouldn't be
you
like
can't
that wouldn't be like a good
Abrahamics and
discussion.
Call them opposite. That doesn't make sense.
So all right, let's just for the sake of argument, let's just say I'm Christian. This hypothetically gorgeous woman is Hindu or
No,
something
no,
else.
yeah. Let's say she's like polytheist.
I don't think
like
I
she's a
could do it.
tribal.
I don't think I could do it. To be honest. I don't
A
know.
letter
This is
for
me.
you, letter. It would be like any kind of religion at all. I don't know, because you're an atheist.
But,
so
but if,
So
if
am
he's an
I.
atheist, then well, okay, then like the most devout, like strictest version of
Yeah.
another like religion.
let's say she's like West Baptist Church.
West
What do you think?
Baptist Church.
Well,
I'm
for the
pretty
record,
sure
my
we wouldn't
discussion
have gotten
topic
along in the
is
first place.
fair. But let's okay, for the sake of argument, let's just say you got like you guys had 2-3 dates, and then like on the third date, you're
Like,
everything's hitting off, and then she drops the bomb like, oh yeah, if this is
Yeah, I
gonna
want you to
work,
meet
you
my
need
parents,
to
but-
convert.
yeah, exactly.
Would you at least be like open to the idea? Maybe you'd like explore it a little bit.
If I have to have
Okay.
sex underneath a fucking blanket sheet, I'm not hitting it.
Shut up, dude. Yeah, that's not even funny.
Anyway, your turn, Loop. What do you think?
It depends.
Depends on what.
What do you mean? No, you have to give a different answer to depends. You came up with the
you have adult
goddamn
diapers,
subject.
That's why I said depends.
I never expect myself to be asked this. I just say whatever I want to.
I hate you.
Well, let me
Is
think.
that the
I'd
truth?
probably give it a shot. I'd probably say, well, let me run through what your ideas are, and if they somewhat match what I think is all right, then perhaps.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think I would at least explore it. But like, my thing is that I don't know if I could denounce, I don't know if I could, feel safe after denouncing Jesus.
refuse thy name.
Yeah,
I mean, because that is
My
a
battery's out,
very
so I'm gonna be right back.
specific thing in Catholicism and Abrahamic religions. You can't denounce God. Like, I'm not about to try that.
The furthest I go is like
Wait
we
a
can
minute.
stay friends, but it's like if it's like, oh, you're fine with the like not wanting to like convert to the religion I am to date me, and that's fine, we can date. But if I have to, I'll just stay friends with you and just go find another like hopeful fish in the sea.
Actually, Loop, it's actually kind of funny you brought this question up because my sister's getting married, and she's getting married next year, and she's marrying a Jew, and they're pretty okay with it.
phrasing,
What?
Jewish guy.
It's a Jew.
Not-
He's a Jew. Who gives a fuck?
That's not the way you say that.
I mean, is it not? Who gives a shit? Okay,
It's not
whatever.
polite.
Okay, excuse me.
Are we
However,
polite on this
okay.
podcast?
Yeah.
That's
I
one of
mean,
those
we had-
things where
we
you
had-
don't want to not be polite in case someone hears it. You know.
I mean, I never thought that was impolite. I wasn't trying to be impolite. But if you're Jewish, okay, whatever. That's all besides the point. She's marrying a Jewish guy, and they're not too. They're both. Neither of them are both super, like let's say devout in their Catholic. But it was definitely a question, and now,
Just got
his
back.
mom. his mom is super like she wants to have them married by a rabbi, but she's like, I kind of want to be married by a Catholic priest. So it's like this right now. It's funny you bring this up, Luke, because this is actually like an actual kind of topic that my sister is going through. Obviously, it's not as extreme as
of course.
like
the polar opposite of you, yeah.
But it's like, all right, well, now are they going to get married under a rabbi or a priest, or are they going to do both, or a little bit of, whatever.
I'm assuming that this is your sister, you said, right?
Yeah.
Assuming that your sister like wants kids, then what would they do with the child? You know what I mean? Like,
well,
would they be like free to choose whatever they'd like? Do they have influences from both, or which would dominate more? You know?
Well, I'm not sure. I know what I would do, but I don't know what their plan is. I think, like, honestly, from what I've heard, like other Jewish people like talk about is like the only issue, I guess, I don't know why this is the only issue that comes to my mind first, but like especially like during Christmas time, like Christmas time is a Catholic Christian holiday, and a lot of Jewish people do not, obviously they don't celebrate that, but like kids, there's Jewish kids in school who get like well, I mean, okay, typically, like stereotypically, let's put it that way. Like,
They get Chinese food. That's the stereotype.
Yeah.
That is the
Because
stereotype.
everyone else is closed, so they get Chinese food because they're not celebrating Christmas either.
But what I've heard is that like a lot of Jewish kids get upset because they see all like if they have a lot of Christian
I've heard about
friends,
that
they're
too.
all getting gifts, and then like they might if they're an Americanized Jewish family, they might get like some gifts for the kids. But I think from what I've heard, like I think a lot of Jewish kids get upset because on Christmas they don't get as much gifts. But I mean, I honestly, like I said though, the Jewish faith and the Christian faith, there's a strong overlap. There's one major difference, but like, because in the Christian Bible, the first 46 books is just the Jewish Bible, and then they add
Torah.
24 more. Yeah. So, I mean, that's doable. That's manageable. It'd be like if for your question, like a Hindu Bible or I don't know what it's called.
It's scripture or something.
Yeah, okay. Like Hindu scripture is entirely different from the Christian or Jewish Bible. So that would be significantly more difficult than a Jewish person marrying a Christian person. But we did go to a Holy Name Cathedral in downtown Chicago, and the head priest there, or the bishop there, said that if they want to get married by a rabbi, they could bless it or whatever, and you could still receive that sacrament. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of leeway with both. I think they both neither of the two would like be super unaccepting. But they still would want their.
Oh, you go. Sorry.
No, I was wondering. I paused because I don't know.
Well, funny enough, according to,
I did literally.
No idea.
Yeah.
Not comfortable with this discussion.
Well, so there's actually I don't know how true this is, but my dad told me this because I think he was doing research. I'll take this with a grain of salt. But apparently, that in the Jewish faith, if someone is marrying somebody outside your religion, you kind of teach whoever the females. This is traditional. Whoever the female's religion is. So in this case, with my sister, you'd raise the kids Catholic, even though the dad's Jewish. If it was reversed, then you'd raise them Jewish. I don't know how true that is, but my dad told me.
I've never heard of that before, though. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's a very traditional way to do it, but modern times, so who knows?
Yeah, it's possible that Letter left because of the conversation. He got bored. He was just like, "Yeah, this shit kind of sucks." So I propose we segue on and try and get him back in.
I actually have a topic I was thinking about in the shower the other day that I think would actually have been great for the podcast. I thought I'd bring it up.
Go.
Totally shifting gears here.
Wait, who else is here, Ender? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
So, I was thinking because recently the Modern Warfare 3 has been released, and this had me. I personally have gotten.
What
really
the fuck did I do? Sorry, when he just said I don't get to pick topics, like it's not even that fucking bad of a topic.
Well, tell him to get his ass back in here, and he can propose something if he wants to. it's a podcast. We just kind of free flow with this, I guess. I mean, it's P-Funk's, so I mean, we kind of go with whatever he wants to do. But
I mean, it's an open
Anyway, continue.
discussion.
You were saying you had a thing you were gonna say. You're thinking about something in the shower.
yeah. Oh yeah. So
Jerking it.
recently, Modern Warfare 3 has been released. A new one. No, this is hold on. Let me explain here. So, I personally, with this, I used to think that I think the gaming industry right now is in a really tough
Bad
spot. Yeah, and I was trying to figure out why I think that is. Like, if you asked me a year or two ago, I would have said it was the gaming community's fault because I thought people were too picky or like too, I don't know if needy is the correct word, but they didn't want things to change because people don't naturally like things changing. They don't like change, and that goes in every aspect of life. But now I think it's the developers who's at fault, and after seeing the release of Modern Warfare 3. But then I was, as I was in the shower thinking about this, why I was in the shower thinking about this, I don't know. But I was like, maybe I think it's kind of goes to, a game or franchise by franchise. Like an example with like Call of Duty, I think it's the developer's fault. But with like games like Destiny, I think that's the community's fault.
Destiny is not community's fault. I think.
Okay.
In my experience, after playing the campaign, the campaign's bad. That was the developer's fault. But the multiplayer, in my experience playing the multiplayer in the zombies, I like it because how they decided to go back to a more understandable thing. But people see it at a glance as like, this shit's stupid as fuck. What am I supposed to do with all of this? It's to not understand by like, I don't know, reading the tooltip. Yep, you can do anything in the game if you just read.
Which game are you referring to?
Modern Warfare 3, because they added a new system for unlocking stuff. Such
And
as,
your left too.
Yeah, and the left. They added a new way to unlock stuff, such as unlocking things from daily challenges. But there's only 3 daily challenges, and the way they went around this was once you complete all the daily challenges, you get to do a bonus challenge, and depending on what mode you're in, is either just do contracts and zombies, or win a match in multiplayer. And that in
What
itself,
the hell's contracts? Is it like quests?
in I think Modern Warfare 2, when Warzone came out for that Modern Warfare title, they added another thing on top of it called DMZ, and I think it's like a Tarkov, but like Call of Duty style, or bastardized, I guess. Also highlighter.
Well, so also my when I mentioned Destiny, what I was saying is, like, this is from my personal experience because I used to play the shit out of the first Destiny game, and when I went to school, my roommate was a huge Destiny player, and by huge I mean he quite literally never left the dorm room, and all he did was play Destiny. And like I played some other games, but not nearly as much as he played Destiny. And he showed me so I would watch him play a little bit. I go, this looks identical to Destiny 1. And he goes, that's because they released Destiny 2 with all this new stuff, and the community got all butthurt, and we're like, we want all this shit. So they basically just rebranded Destiny 1 with maybe slightly better graphics, new guns. And again, this is all his words, not mine. I never really played Destiny 2. But from what he told me, I was like, okay, maybe that's the community's fault. But then when you have games like Modern Warfare 3, where like the whole game literally they're charging $70 for a game that only has a 3-hour campaign. They didn't even come out with any new maps. The 16 maps they came out with are just remastered versions of the original Modern Warfare 2.
That understand as a developer standpoint is kind of stupid, but everything else a part of it is like the community's fault. Destiny 2 right now, in the beginning, and if people were complaining, it was just them complaining. Right now, it is entirely the developer's fault because of what they're doing with it.
Probably a bad example, but like my main example here is Modern Warfare 3, because like the map thing has been going on for the last like 4 or 5 games. Yeah. Like every single new map they created has been dog shit, and then they just bring like in Modern Warfare 3 or Modern Warfare like 2019 and Modern Warfare 2, the best maps are the maps that they created in like 2003 or 4 or whatever COD 4 came out. Like, so it's like, okay, so no new maps. They're charging full price. A campaign that's half as long, and their claim though, their market thing, they claim why this game is great is they added back all the stuff that they took out in Modern Warfare 2. But then everyone's like, well, that should have been in the game in the first place. Why did you take that out?
I also saw an article that it was supposed to be a DLC to begin with.
Exactly, and they're charging price for it. So, and honestly, like I'm not going to shift the blame totally. I think it's like 75% the developers. I think it's 25% the community, because a lot of people who play Warzone and a lot of people who play Call of Duty full time are such hard sweats that it's not really a lot of fun for anybody else to play the game. So of course, sweats with any game that's competitive, they want to keep it like as I'll say vanilla for lack of a better word, as like, so they can excel at that. But when the developers start changing shit, they get pissed, and then they change it back, and they're like, hooray! And it's like, well, fucking, you're just changing shit and you're charging full price. So that's why this is a long-winded way of saying, because I know a lot of games are like this. Like, I feel like there's a couple bastions of games, like you got Rainbow Six, you got Valorant, you got CSGO, but like any new game that gets released, I feel like not a lot of people play it anymore. And it's just like, I feel like we're in this weird state in the gaming community where people don't really know what to play because they're tired of all the old shit, but right now all the old shit's all we got. So I don't know.
I just play Halo, I think.
Yeah. I think it's the problem of needing to create something new, because we always think the old is just going to die out sometime soon. Right. And creating something new, it's not very... creating something new just never becomes creative enough, because we already reference off the old shit. It's only with AAA games it's the problem, though.
That's my point.
I wouldn't even say that. I'd say in general, like, not... This goes in general for like everything, not just games. But I think we just have a giant lack of creativity where everything has to either be a reference to something or it has to be based on something else.
I don't think it's mainly creative.
Even when it comes to criticisms, like say, oh, this is a rogue, this is a Metroidvania type. Like, is it not possible to describe it in any sort of other way?
No,
Is it like in itself a reference to something?
I think that's more like a genre of how to play the game.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's a genre. Even to that extent, that a game cannot be unique. That the game must be based like solely around this style of movement. Like games can have like unique types of feels.
But influential games can set trends. Every FPS between 1994 and 2000 was referred to as a Doom clone. Like that's not
we still have Doom clones, right? Like we still call things Doom clones.
Yeah.
Well, we call them FPSs because it became its own genre.
Isn't there still like Doom clones out there?
Partially.
Like there are still
Doom clones.
There are idle Doom clones being made. Like
even
the
old Doom clones that we know of, we still call them Doom clones. So like,
the current Doom clones referred to as boomer shooters. Like
is that what they call them?
Proteus is one. Let's see, what else have I played? Proteus is the one that immediately came to mind because it was really well done.
I haven't even heard of that.
Well, okay. I also
I have played Proteus. Yeah, it was on Game Pass. It just I think it left Game Pass recently. Yeah, I actually really loved the shit out of that.
But okay,
it wasn't like $30 good, but it was a good game.
It was it was like one of those PC games that you probably picked off of like a free store. Sorry.
No, there's a couple points brought up that I wanted to talk about. That going off of what we've been talking about, like P-Funk, you mentioned AAA games, and I agree with you because I can't remember the last time I paid full price for a game. Full price meaning $60 to $70 or more, and had an absolute fucking got at least 100 hours of gameplay out of it. And I've had more fun. I've had more fun that I bought with games that are $40 to $30 or less. That I've had more fun than any AAA title that I bought recently. Like I bought The Walking Dead, all 4 games. I had no, seriously, I'm being serious. Like,
you said this multiple times. You replayed it because you bought the last one, and it was like, damn, this is cool.
And my point is that's better than fucking Modern Warfare 3 now. And then Loop, you mentioned Halo. Halo's another great example. For example, they made the Master Chief Collection, which essentially is just all the games they've already released, which are great games, 1 through 4.
It's
and
6
Reach.
games in one actually.
Yeah, and
It's
ODST.
ODST.
But what they also did was they added a little extra shit. Like they added the little guns from ODST into Halo 3, or
now I think about
more
it-
customization. That's good. But but they also released Halo 5, which was dog shit. They have released Infinite, which is,
I think
in my
with-
opinion, mediocre.
With those, even I think Infinite, you can still milk things out you haven't found before in the Halo games. And so there's still a lot of shit.
Yeah,
and there's still a lot of shit I don't know about Halo 2, and I'm finding out almost rarely recently with the last episode of Halo 2 that I did with Luke.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
My point is that obviously I think this is very dependent on whatever game / industry or whichever gaming company and shit. But I've noticed a growing trend that a lot of games that are full price are not nearly as worth as a game you can get for $20. You could take literally any game that's $15. How many times do we play Gang Beasts on the weekend? And I have more fun doing that than Call of Duty. In Call of Duty is $70, and Gang Beasts is $15. And that to me is more fun than the Call of Duties that we used to love and enjoy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I was actually gonna say this before. And you brought it up. You said I don't remember the last time I paid $60 for a game. I was gonna say I don't remember the last time I paid for a game in general. Because even if I see a game that's AAA title, I just don't buy them. I just ignore the shit of them. I'd rather play
I think
some
I'm just
indie
more
these days.
open-minded with okay, I guess it's shit. I might as well find out what's good and bad about it still, regardless of the price tag.
Speaking of price tag, I don't know if this is also kind of changing gears a little bit, but speaking of price tag, there was rumors going around because I know in recent gaming news, GTA 6 has been confirmed to be releasing in the next few years. And
Yeah.
I don't know how the validity of the rumors that I'm about to say, but I've seen them on social media because they are rumors. But there are rumors that the head developer of, I forget what the parent company of Rockstar is, but the CEO of that company,
Take-Two?
I think so. Yeah, Take-Two. He said that initially they're probably going to charge $150 for GTA 6.
Not buying it.
Or, yeah, exactly. I don't care. I would love to play GTA 6 without paying $150. Or he said he was going to give players the option to kind of go on a subscription-based model.
Oh fuck no!
The fucking
Yeah, where you
the
can-
one they already
Fuck that
the
shit.
one that Rockstar already made.
Yeah. So
No,
it gets
I
worse.
heard about this.
It gets
Um,
worse. It's not
It was
it's not
it was on
a
a
$10
corporate
a
call,
month
though,
thing.
wasn't it?
What?
This was on some corporate call that leaked, and it was in the news a couple days ago. Am I
Yeah,
remembering
something like
right?
this. I've just seen this on TikTok and Instagram, so
Oh,
I'm just
for
going with
fuck's
what I'm.
sake.
So the rumors have 15 quotation marks around.
Okay, well, yes, all right, but you can Google this. I'm not pulling this out of my ass.
No, you're
But-
pulling it out of TikTok.
You're
Okay.
pulling out a TikTok
Whatever.
pipeline
Whatever.
ass.
I'm
It
just saying.
exists. It exists. It's what you're saying.
Yeah, I know what he's talking
This
about.
is a rumor. There is a rumor though. Let's just say
I
that.
did. Hey,
No,
I
there's
did
an
say
actual
it was a
call,
rumor. I don't know if this is true or not. I'm saying, but the subscription model that, again, air quotes, double air quotes, that the subscription model would be something like $5 an hour, not even
What
a
the
fucking
fuck?
month or something.
What?
$5 an hour.
No, okay, so
I'm
I
not
getting-
doing
are
either
they-
of
are
those.
we- Am I getting paid to
No.
use? What the fuck does it sound like? $5 an
there's- so there's-
hour?
there's an element of this that's being mistranslated. So where this thing came from is it was on a corporate call. So they were not discussing actual plans, but this was more brainstorming and future direction of the business. Now we should be concerned because these are the same discussions that were being had about some of the really bad forms of microtransactions 10, 15 years ago. So I don't know that it's necessarily going to be implemented by GTA 6, because that's probably the next couple of years. but this is indicative of where their heads at, like where the business people, the suits, want to take
Right.
things.
That was gonna lead me to my next point. That was because I was thinking a working theory of why a lot of games are shit or just shit at launch. Like Cyberpunk, for example, was dog shit at launch.
I
Or
think it was
Battlefield.
I think Cyberpunk was dog shit because they weren't paying attention. They were putting love into it. They weren't paying attention correctly to the
but
love.
my point is like there's like a ton of games. Like the most recent Battlefield game was completely, like fucking dog shit at launch, and like I think what like my fucking business brain is they want to. This could be, I don't know if this is true, but like maybe they just want to get the cash grab and then like use the money to finish the game, or maybe they just want to fucking release it and then get the money and then just say fuck it, who knows. I don't know, but it's like more times than not, companies will release a game half-baked and then everyone's like, oh, this is dog shit, and then like, oh yeah, we fixed the game, but it's like, well, why was it like it
Why was it not
fixed at launch?
Letter said this thing about drip feed one time. I don't remember what that is. I mean, like the actual definition of it, but I think I basically get what it means.
That's
so
a
I'm gonna
little bit
assume
different. Like drip feed is where they intentionally roll features out slowly to keep you subscribed longer, or at least engaged longer.
That's always something else.
It's the psychology behind the like the open beta shit, like, or how a lot of stuff is in early access for fucking ever.
Yeah. Like DayZ's little.
Yeah. And they just slowly release stuff and keep people engaged, especially when it's a monthly subscription model. Like a lot of Patreon stuff turns into that really quickly.
I mean, if you look at any of the games though, like that were released in 2008 to 2012, let's say.
Halo 3.
I mean, yeah, Halo 3. They didn't fucking release that game and then it was dog shit and then they were like, oh, we gotta update it. No. They literally released the game for what it was, and Halo 3 is, in my opinion, my favorite Halo of all time.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Maybe second to Halo 2 if I had to, maybe rank them. But my point is, those games were legendary because I felt like that was when developers gave a shit. I mean, this is my theory. I'm just saying, like, nowadays, I think it's getting more into, like, it's instead of becoming, like, let's say, like, art, or maybe developers, like, let's write a fucking kick-ass story. It's more business, like, all right, what's gonna sell the most copies?
Yeah,
like,
well, of course. Yeah.
And
it is a company at the end of the day. It's a business.
It is
so
a business.
They just got to get out anything that, like, as long as it fucking, like, it's playable.
Yeah.
Even if it's not even. Some games aren't even playable. But
No,
like, as long as they get it out and it can sell.
Fallout
Another
76
game-
was like almost unplayable because it was like riddled with bugs at release.
And another game that's just like, I feel like is recently that has just been trying to fuel a burning, like a flame that's dying out, is like Fortnite, for example. For the last 3 years, Fortnite has just been filled with, like, they've basically, I don't know how true this is, but it's evident when you play the game. Like, every new season, there's just a new movie they promote. It's like, oh, like, and no one's like, I don't give a shit. I don't want to beat Doctor Strange or Darth Vader this week. Like, I don't care.
Remember the Martin Luther King event?
Yeah, there was a Martin Luther King event. There was a fucking, like, there was a Travis Scott, a Marshmallow event. Like,
you couldn't play as him.
Play as Rosa Parks.
There was a Kid Leroy event. Like, they basically, for artists and for movies,
some rapper,
singer. He's like a singer or something. I don't know.
Oh.
But he like, they do this whole fucking, like, they do every season. There's another movie, another artist, and they're obviously, they're probably getting paid for this advertising.
Yeah, they're getting paid for it, of course.
Even though, like 80 people out of the 100% or the 100 people lobby are all bots. Like, I play a game of Fortnite, I average 20 kills, and like 15 of them are bots. And it's like, so that game is like dying, but like, it's just like, I feel like these companies just don't give a shit anymore. I mean, look at what happened to Overwatch 2. Wasn't there something that went on with Overwatch 2, how it was like dog shit or something?
I
Overwatch
think
2 is just Overwatch 1 with an update.
It was.
No,
It had a.
it was
had a new
the
coat of paint.
Exhibit
And that
A.
new coat of paint was like a
no,
new.
it wasn't a
fucking
new
skin.
coat of paint. It
It was
was
literally just one new skin.
Like they
imagine
turned off Overwatch 1 and turned on Overwatch 2.
Yeah.
imagine updating some game types of Overwatch 1 and adding some new skins, and that's the whole game. That was it. They took out literally everything from Overwatch 1 that was almost dead as could have been new to Overwatch 2, and just made it like that. That's what it was at launch. They took out a map they said that they were gonna put in, and remade a skin of another map just to rework it. And that's pretty much what they've done with the game. It was just boring. They took out one player. They took out the player count of each team, so it's just like tank, 2 healers, 2
Oh yeah.
support.
You can have as many people as you want. Like as
No,
whatever
it was
class.
66, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's whatever.
It was
class.
6v6,
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
66,
not
but you can
like-
have whatever class you want.
No,
It's
it was
only
six.
limits on
It
class.
was 6v6. Now it's 5v5.
Oh, I thought they got. Oh, whatever.
And,
I thought they got rid
there was
of, like,
only
the class limits or whatever. Didn't they?
and you can only have one tank.
That's what it was.
Also, I want to point out that, like, to back up my point with further evidence, is that if you look at games right now that are being released, like, there's 2 games I can think of off the top of my head that are really, like, games that are all over. People are posting them all over YouTube and TikTok and having a lot of fun. They're really funny to watch. Are like games like BattleBit and Lethal Company.
I was
Which
about to
are-
say Lethal Company.
Yeah, like look at dude, every other video on my For You page or all the videos I see on YouTube are Lethal Company, and I literally am laughing my ass off, and that game looks low production. I don't know how much it costs, but
It's $10 on Steam. It's not. They were
It's
adding new
$10?
shit.
it's $10. It's
The
$10.
indie
and
games
people-
nowadays are funnier than the AAA games because it's 2 people
Exactly.
working on like a
You know-
100-hour project.
You know what I'm gonna say? You know what I'm gonna say, P-Funk? Yeah, you're saying nowadays, but I feel as though indie games have always been better.
Indie games
fucking
have
AAA
been
games.
better because
And
it's
the
more
only
like
reason-
label
No,
intensive.
The only reason we only just noticed is because the indie they used to be competing, and I think indie games used to kind of almost edge out, but now the AAA games have gone so down shit, like down
Wasn't
fucking
Hegel
asshole,
like an
stupid
indie
fucking
game?
piece of shit game.
Well, I would.
Now it's like- now it's like
Wasn't
even
a
more
huge
noticeable.
Indie scene even 10 years ago.
I mean, there
Like,
was an
even 10
indie
years ago,
scene.
it was
if you want.
hard to get. No, you had to have your finger on the pulse. Like it wasn't always a few clicks to get a game released on Steam.
No, I
That's
agree.
That
I think
that environment has changed dramatically.
Couldn't
I-
you
I-
like get
I
like
100%
idle
agree.
games like
However,
launched on like consoles though?
When I think of
It's
indie
very
games,
expensive to get something certified for a Nintendo or a Sony console.
when I
Like,
think
that
of
was-
it like indie games,
Especially
I'm
when-
thinking back then. I'm thinking like, because I was an Xbox 360 kid. I played like fucking Castle Miners Z and
Oh
whatever that-
man,
like games like that. That's when I thought of
Yeah,
indie back then.
it's
So it was
classic.
there, but it was. You're correct, Letter. It fucking drastically changed and got significantly better without fucking raising the price tag like that much. And I feel like indie games are just meant for maybe they're just focusing on like party games more so, like a Game Beasts or Stick Figures or whatever that Party Animals game that came out. on
Jackbox,
Game Pass.
Jackbox.
Jackbox.
Jackbox is like a big one because they're now like the 10th like Jackbox pack.
Dude,
When I saw
I can't tell you how many times, like when I was at school, my friends and I would literally just get a case of beer and play Jackbox all night, and that was so much more fun, I think, than any other AAA game I had.
You know what's
like,
another
played.
really good
Like,
party
when's
game?
the last time anyone bought or talked about like Assassin's Creed? No one plays that
Oh,
shit
yeah.
anymore.
I forgot.
That was a AAA title that people used to love and play, and no one fucking plays that shit anymore.
Another good party game is don't talk and nobody explodes. What's it called again?
Keep talking and no one explodes.
Keep talking and no one explodes. That's a good
That's
one.
the one
I
with
thought
the
P-Funk
bomb
and I were-
defusal, right?
That
Yeah,
one's really good. I love that game.
Yeah.
I have it on
This is-
Steam. I could do a video on it.
You
Not,
should do
not
that
this
like
week.
right
This is my long-winded way of saying I despise the gaming community, not community, but like the industry right now. I don't know if you want to move. If you guys had another topic you want to talk about.
Dude, I mean,
But-
that pretty much wraps it
Hang
up.
on,
That's
hang
pretty
on.
good.
So, I think there's a point that needs to be noted, and that there's something different in game development in the 90s and early 2000s and now. And I think that's who is really in control of the projects. So Halo 3, that's a good example. Microsoft was not micromanaging
That is
Bungie
true.
over that whole thing. Like,
Right. I agree.
right. So that really ultimately was a bigger version of a game that guys made in a garage. And that was the energy that games in the old days used to have, and I think that's the energy that a lot of indie titles have now. It was just ultimately a bunch of guys or a studio of people that has an idea that they want to. It's like, hey, I think this would be fun if we did this. Oh yeah, that would be cool.
I'm gonna take it a bit further and say I think.
Well, hey, let me
maybe
finish.
go a
let me
little bit back.
finish.
Okay, go. Keep going. I didn't know you.
So what's happened since then? Since Halo 3 made millions and millions of dollars, since Fortnite's probably taken in $1 billion at this point, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
over, a little bit over.
yeah.
A little bit over.
But they
Right.
keep milking it. But yeah.
Probably on like $10 trillion realistically.
You can't
But-
wait till
but
Baka goes in the
point
game.
Once we had that amount of money, then that's when the suits kind of closed in and exerted control, and that's when everything really started turning to shit. Because then it became about
Profit.
projected returns instead of just funding a studio that was going to make something good.
Right.
Like, they're so fucking stingy and so money oriented that just having a great success isn't enough. They need to have something that's proven with models and bullshit
Oh yeah, yeah.
that will sell well. So that's
And-
why things are so
100%.
oriented towards trends.
I'm gonna
So-
compound upon that.
But that's not the developers though. That's the suits. But the
Yeah,
problem
that's
is
the
the
suits.
suits are in
Okay,
control
I
of the
say
studio.
developers. I think I've been saying
So it's like-
developers. I think what I meant to say is suits, the owners, because like
Exactly.
that is more prevalent ever, especially you can see it blatantly in like Call of Duty right now, because Activision, who owns Call of Duty, was bought out by Microsoft, and Microsoft now owns all the Activision games, which include Doom, which include Gears of War, include
I
Fallout.
thought Doom was ID.
Bethesda.
Yeah,
Bethesda.
Well, they
Yeah.
still own. They,
Yeah.
I
No,
think
they also own
bought out
Bethesda. Yeah, they
Yeah,
bought
so-
Bethesda. Yeah.
They already
But, like,
own Gears though.
Yeah,
They,
Gears was-
they've
Gears
always
was
had
going
gears.
But anyway, my point is I think what's happening is, I think, Letter, what you're spot on, and because that's happening, I feel like there's not a lot of fucking effort going into a lot of these games, and they just want to do cash grab, and that is causing what I feel like a lot of players to stick to the old games. Like I mean, guys, we play Halo, the Master Chief Collection, which are all the old games. We never play Infinite or
Check
Halo
the videos
5.
out, by the way. Check the videos out.
Like I mean, like, dude, if people are gonna stick to the old games, they're gonna stick to like CS:GO, they're gonna stick to League, they're gonna stick to Dota or whatever fucking game people are into that's been out for 10 years, and they're not gonna play these new games because the new games are shit, because these suits are just
It's kind of
just
like
want to get the money.
it's kind of like
Also, here's what-
movies nowadays.
God
now I think
damn!
about it. Jesus. I was about to say it's kind of like like not entirely all movies, but like how like the writers' strike that went on, how like the big heads are like screwing over the writers and like actors. They just wanted to like make more money out of it instead of like making a good profit. Like with Netflix, if it was a shit movie, they just didn't tell the writers that it did shit or did good, right? And just gave them like the contract they made the writers signed up for the fucking movie.
Right.
I think that like what we're pointing to in general, like all of us at the same time, that there's just like a big lack of creativity. That like not only do people have like run out of ideas at this point, maybe they haven't. Like you know,
Maybe
in
they
a
have
way,
good
maybe they
ideas.
are.
Maybe
'Cause
it's just
indie
locked
people-
behind something.
Indie people do still fucking have creative stories that are awesome and fucking inventive. They use new styles to depict these crazy plots and themes. But there's an influence from the bigger companies that they just they create like these sort of like colonized in like developers that sort of feel as though they have to act no longer by their own will, but by what a company demands of them. So that even if they were at some point like a caring developer, like they cared about things, they knew what it was like to be an indie developer. but because they've been influenced so much by a company that they're owned by, they now feel like they have no other choice but to keep with the status quo and fucking just keep doing the stupid shit that that the industry asks of them. Because they know if they don't do otherwise, either they'll get fired or they just won't be funded anymore. And it's just sad to see that there's almost like this financial like ban on creativity because it's not profitable.
It would
or it's not
seem
safe. It's not safe to do so. You
It
know
would
what I mean?
seem like I don't know if this is just me being. I mean, obviously in this conversation I have a biased lens because I agree with you, Loop. But like, if I were the suit, if I were the guy, like let's say I was a higher up executive at Microsoft and I'm looking at Call of Duty or I'm looking at Halo or whatever game I own, I'm gonna say, I don't know if they're just getting greedy, but I think when the better financial and business decision is like after you've bought them, say, okay, you have these great titles that people clearly love, like, and here are the developers who created it. Wouldn't it make more sense for you that, like, I don't know, I think this would be more rational to say, okay, here, do it, like, here, you, like, I own the game, I own the namesake, but you do what you do best, and like go like just fucking run them off in the wild. Like I don't understand why the suits are because like a guy who got a business degree and knows how to run a business does not know how to fucking make a video game. The developers know how to make a fucking video game. Yeah, if they want to invest in it, if they want to own it, that fine. But why are they? I feel like they're sinking their teeth in making the games and trying to direct where it goes.
God,
when they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
brought up degrees. Oh my god, I just had a flashback from a media class.
This is with like all sorts of media now. All art forms have been, bastardized in this way that it's all for profit. It's no longer for like the
sake of making
psychological
cool.
or for the artistic aspect of it. It's all just for profit. It's become this whole capitalist cycle that just insinuates that you need to get rid of all things that are creative so that you can make things that are safe. The reason why suits don't propose that you do like things that are risk or that are like creative or risky or imaginative is because they know it won't make them like it's not that they know it won't make them money, but they're not sure. They can't be guaranteed of it. And they want to play it safe, like Disney does. They want to play it safe. They want to do things that they already know will get them money.
But
they don't want to do anything creative.
You sure Disney's doing the safe thing with Little Mermaid?
Yeah.
Well, no. Well, that Disney's a whole
Yes,
Little
thing.
Mermaid again.
no.
It's Little Mermaid
understand
again. It's safe.
I think what you're saying is right, but what I would tell the suits is like you might think it's risky and you're trying to play it safe, but you can't play it safe and you can't take risks in an industry like that's under the art branch. Like if you're in a band, you can't play it safe. You gotta fucking do some wild shit. And maybe
have you listened to Harry Styles?
Have you heard fucking Yellow Submarine from the Beatles? Yeah.
Okay, well, but at the time that was new shit. Like I mean, like my point is if artistic, whether that's literally creating art, whether that's making music, whether that's making a video game, you're gonna have to take some fucking risks on some new shit. Like,
so
you can't play it safe with this shit. And who knows? Maybe you fucking make a video game and it's complete dog shit, but at least it was something new. And then you're like, okay, that didn't work. Let's try something else. Now let's not keep you can't keep squirting out the same title and expect to make millions. I mean, apparently that's working with Call of Duty, and that works with like NBA or like Madden or
the
FIFA.
82K game. Yeah.
I guess it works for that, but like I'm just saying, that's a very specific like genre of video game. But like that doesn't work for every genre of video game. That doesn't work for all the video games. You gotta have like indie games. The reason those work is because maybe not all of them work, but the great ones that do work is because they took a chance. They're like, all right, no one's made this game. I'm gonna make it. It might fucking do horrible. Who knows? And then they release it, and it's like the best game. I mean, like we said, Lethal Company, BattleBit, fucking great games, and they're like $10, maybe $15. But like the people who made those games probably are like, what are they? 5? Not even 5 people. They're like, this could be a fun game. Let's see what this guy. Let's try it. Who knows? Let's make it. Boom, instant success. Not the suits who are saying, you know what? Like we're gonna stick to what we know, play it safe, and let's just copy and paste the same game and charge $70 for it. Yeah, that might work for Madden and FIFA, but that doesn't work for all games.
I just thought of a game.
Now, hold on, Letter had something to say real quick. Hold on.
That's fine.
Letter was. Are you good? Because I interrupted you at some point. I was like,
That's good.
you good?
I mean, do you disagree? Do you agree?
Yes and no. I think the thing you're underestimating is
Corporate greed.
once it becomes a purely business thing, it's all about how they're doing their calculations. So it's about what can be sold to people who don't know shit about video games, but see how much money they've been able to bring in. Like,
Interesting.
the businesses have an obligation to operate in the interest of their shareholders, while the shareholders are a bunch of vulture capitalists who just want a return on their investment. It's a very, very toxic cycle.
I know, I understand that, but my point is, that, like, if you take any industry, like any business, yeah, that is typically like the kind of society we run in, where like, yes, the people who are in the company have the duty to fulfill to the shareholders. Understandable. However, I'm saying in specific to the gaming industry, I think, or anything artistic, I feel like it's to the suits. It's they're gonna treat it like any other business. But I'm saying, when anything it comes to someone who wants to share artistic expression, you can't. Like, I feel like they're gonna try to restrict that, or try to, make it like for the. Like, I don't even know what I'm saying. Like, they're gonna try to like restrict it to like the way that they know in order to make profit. Where I feel like you can't do that because it's it's art. Art is art.
They're saying they're saying they're playing it safe rather than like do something.
They're playing it safe, which in most industries that might work. Like, I don't know any specific industry that like to mention, but like I feel like specific to the gaming industry, sometimes like you gotta let the people do their jobs in order to make something great. You can't just say, "Hey, make us money." You should say, "Do your job," and in turn that'll make us money. Like these developers are just doing what they have to do rather than what they want to do.
And I agree completely. I actually think that's a good way to think about it. But the problem is, you said it doesn't work in an industry like this because it's art. The problem is, Modern Warfare 3 just sold like $4 billion trillion or some shit. So it actually does work.
That pisses me off.
It's
It's just proving the model right. Is that it keeps fucking working. Like,
it does work.
graphs don't lie.
I don't think it's the
100%
people.
agree.
I think it's the people just want their slop and they're not just paying attention anymore.
Yeah, people just bought it for like $40.
I bought it for a
extra
reason. I bought it for a reason, not because I just wanted to play it.
You're part of the problem, P-Funk.
Yeah,
I
you are
bought it
part of
for
the
a reason.
problem.
I bought it for one reason, and that's why. And after that, I might stop until the reason comes back up to be prominent again.
Reason being you love
like,
suckling on
obviously,
their teeth. That's it.
Hold
I
on.
fucking hate it when it's just like microtransactions. It has to fuel the fucking developers' paychecks in order to keep the game alive. That's what I hate. Hey, I just paid it. I just bought it because I wanted to do the camo challenges that came with the game. And when I found out that the Modern Warfare 2 weapons came in, I was glad I didn't buy Modern Warfare 2 in the past year, and I just paid for Modern Warfare 3.
Okay, I want to. Yeah, it does piss me off personally that people still buy the game, and why it works for right when it comes to analytics and like the charts don't lie. Yeah, for games like Call of Duty, for games like FIFA, Madden, etc. Yeah, you're gonna release a title and people are gonna fucking buy it. For those games specifically, I don't understand. That's a smart business move. If you think people are stupid enough to buy this piece of shit game, then yeah, they're gonna buy it. But generally speaking, if you're looking for something new, but not something that's been done, you're looking for something that's new, you gotta let like the developers, do their thing. Like obviously with Call of Duty, they already like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're gonna. Even though half the game is broken. Side note, like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're gonna fucking release a game they know it's gonna sell titles. Fine, totally respectable. I'm not gonna buy it, but if people are, how can I argue that's not a good business move? I'm just saying if you're coming up with something new, you gotta think outside the box a little bit, and you gotta let the developers do that rather than trying to follow a chart.
What I will say, they do need to do research on storytelling, because...
Right. Yeah. Dude, like But even
Yeah,
like,
Well, that's all about
some
playing the side.
analysts. Okay, go ahead.
No, you good. Because I just have like a 1 second comment.
So, my comment is it's that you talk about story, got to have a good campaign, but there's going to be some fucking analyst who's going to say, well, in terms of percentage, like 90% of our high revenue players barely played 15 minutes of campaign, so obviously they're not going to invest in it.
Yeah.
It's
right.
If you're gonna make a 3-hour campaign, at least make not 2 hours, like an hour of it worthwhile, at least.
I never played it, but I heard it was like 3 hours, maybe 4 hours, and half of like maps or part of the Warzone map that they already had created.
It's exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So, but like, I mean, yeah, it pisses me off, and quite frankly, I don't think I'll ever buy a Call of Duty again for the foreseeable future if they're just gonna look like this. But from a business standpoint, people are gonna fucking buy. They're gonna buy it because if you like, realistically, like we all play video games a lot, right? There are people who have an Xbox, but they play every once in a while. They probably don't even notice that like the fucking map is the same. Who knows? Maybe they don't. So they're probably like, oh fuck, brand new Call of Duty, let me get it. Boom. Oh, and then they don't care. Like, but people like us who have played Call of Duty a lot, and then they see this, and then it's like, or like any of the sweats, and this goes for any other game. They like who have played the game and they played so much that they know it and they notice differences, and they're like, hey, wait, this is the map I played like 5,000 times in the last game. Like, they're gonna notice that and be like, what the hell? But my point is that there's a lot more people who just like have an Xbox and who just like playing Call of Duty and don't care that much, and they have, they don't spend that much time on Xbox. There's more people like that than there are who like devote significantly, like a significant amount of time into playing the game and would notice that. So obviously, games like Call of Duty are gonna fucking sell billions of dollars, and even if like a quarter of the people who notice that shit don't buy it, or maybe even still buy it, they're still gonna make billions. So, I don't know. Is that a good place to wrap up P-Funk?
I mean, 56 minutes. We can go another like
We can still keep going.
another
I was
4 and like
thinking-
10.
Yeah,
Well, I didn't want to take. I didn't think this
This subject will
Well,
go
I'm
for
gonna
like
say-
on for like 30
Yeah.
plus
No,
minutes.
I
I
mean,
think
that's
it's
good,
I think it's
that's
only
good.
fair that it does because this is like we are gamers and we always will be.
Never say that
So
again.
I kind of
So-
puked in my mouth.
So
The
but
least person that's a gamer
I
is
said it-
Lighter because
I
he
said
plays
it-
like 3
I said-
games.
I said it with irony, but I mean this for like we're part of the industry and we're kind of like shills in a way. It's like all this shit. So it's sort of like
We
important that talk
surround
about this.
ourselves more with
Yeah.
the gaming industry and like the titles that we play a lot of.
We talk about
if,
this not
if we don't,
because it's
if
fucking-
if our titles don't even overlap a lot, we still
Yeah,
play
those two
good
fucking-
games.
Those two retards and they're talking about movies. They're like I didn't because it was too long and it was boring. There's no Marvel fight scene at the end. It's like there are people like that, but like in the equivalents of fucking video games. And it's like all they do is they shill for big companies who give them money, who are not like paid off, and said to give good like fucking shitty games good reviews.
There's actually
like,
no
new
good
fucking
way to
games.
not chill for a company actually, because you're paying for the game. If you don't pay for it, you're looking up the thing and talking about it online. You're still promoting it in some form of way. At this point, it's if you talk negatively about it, it's just gonna be like, oh, I don't fucking believe that. I'm gonna go look for myself. Oh, it's just adding on more to the fire
Yeah.
at this point.
Well, what I'm saying is that there are people really just fucking chills who are like actually like intention fucking people, and who are just so like brain dead in terms of what artistic value is supposed to mean. Like they have no concept of it.
Yeah,
That it
no,
just
I
pisses
get
me
it.
off, and I feel like we need to talk
Well,
about that in some way, just
So
because
if we're talking
it-
about chills, wasn't there just an incident where we found out that some HBO exec was acting like their own sock puppet?
dude, I actually don't know.
During the
know.
writer's strike, I think.
I know. I think
HBO.
it was some ongoing thing where, like, some exec actually had an alt on Twitter and was like arguing with people and shit, like doing alt account stock market shit.
I know
Am
what
I-
you're
am-
talking about.
Am I
Yeah,
off?
I remember hearing about that. No, I don't remember the exact story, but I know
Like,
what the fuck you're talking about. There was a dude arguing with other people and himself on Twitter to
right.
to
And
defend
the
his own
shocking
actions.
thing is, but the shocking thing about that is that person didn't seem to be aware that there are services that you could hire that'll do that for you. Like that's the wild shit to me.
He was putting in the work for himself.
Just pay someone
Yeah,
else off
he
to
was
do
doing it himself. He or she, I do not remember the specifics. I
No, that is
believe it was
based. That
HBO.
is based.
That's something a guy would do because guys are like, nah, women are too smart for that kind of shit. And I think they just, I think it's just
Paying
like
for some other service. I'm gonna do it myself.
Over
These-
40
these-
years old, most likely.
these executives are incompetent. Like we shouldn't be listening to anything they say. Do shit like that we want to. Like rather than fucking
As
listen
far
to some
as
fat ass sitting in the
artistic
chair
value
who's
goes,
balding, probably white with like stupid fucking bottle cap glasses, sitting there in his fucking chair.
I think
talking
we
about
give
how his
the
wife doesn't like him or anything
we
like
give
that.
the
Like, it's fucked
executives
up.
too much power too.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, it's not
Well, power
giving the
through-
executives too much power. They're literally
It's just too much influence.
They're
That's what I
they're
mean
like
by that.
Microsoft is like this huge ass company that makes millions from all these different avenues, and they buy out these gaming companies. So yeah, I mean, they're a successful business. I don't think anyone gave them that power. But like, this is the industry we live in, and games are owned by massive
Big-
corporations, and they're just gonna say let's make some money, which is that's a society we live in. But I don't know. I just don't understand. I think a lot. I don't know. As an exec, I would think the smart thing to do. Again, I've already said this, but just let them fly. Let these developers do what they do best. And if it makes you money, like fucking great. If it doesn't, like maybe tell the developers to try something new. Okay, cool. At least you're trying something new, unless you're trying to find something brand new that's gonna be the next best. Because like, do you remember when when Fortnite first came out? That was the new thing, was the battle royale thing. So many fucking companies said, well, they tried something new. They fucking nailed it on the head.
Fortnite did not come out with battle royale. PUBG did.
No,
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, but it came out after
PUBG
that.
didn't either. Technically, it was like DayZ, but I mean, actually,
Was
if you
it
want to
DayZ?
go really far back, it was DayZ. And then if you want to go even further back than that, you can go to Minecraft Hunger Games. But I digress.
I mean, he's right.
He do be spitting.
No, I know. I'm just saying. But like, Fortnite was the one that really popularized within like mainstream. Like, cause like, yeah, a lot of gamers play DayZ, a lot of gamers PUBG. But like, listen, I have one of my older sisters never fucking played video games in her life. Fortnite was the first game that she's like, I want to play Fortnite, and she would like steal my fucking Xbox for me to play Fortnite because that's how popular Fortnite was at the time. My point is
PUBG was on top for like a month,
It was.
and then
Yeah.
Fortnite took
I think
over,
it
and
was
never
on
like
top
that.
Because
because of
kids like the way it looks better. I think it's
Yeah.
cartoony.
And
Stroud
plus
was also-
PUBG games took 45 minutes. Fortnite took half as long. It's like no one has
Yeah,
fucking 45 minutes to play a game.
Fortnite was
PUBG
also free to play. PUBG wasn't.
Oh
Right.
yeah, you're
That's true
right.
too.
PUBG was
But
more
my-
like a content creator game where you could just go in with your friends and just fuck
Like,
around.
It was
Fortnite
streamer
wasn't
based.
really
There
like
you go.
that.
That's, I guess, Yeah.
My point is that Fortnite at when it first came out, it was like, maybe it wasn't the newest thing. They did a lot of things differently, but it really popularized this thing. It popularized it so much that other games like Call of Duty fucking made a battle royale game. In Black Ops 4, Blackout was a huge thing, and then Warzone 2. It became such a norm, like this battle royale genre became a thing because Fortnite put it on the map. My point is if the suits want to make money, they should be encouraging the developers to find that next big thing. Like, that's my point.
And they have. It's the extraction shooter. That's why everything coming down the pipe is looking to be an extraction shooter now.
What is extraction shooter?
You like
What do you mean by
Tarkov,
extraction shooter?
like Tarkov,
I
like
don't know
oh, fuck, what's another?
I know what Tarkov is. But what is an extraction shooter? Like what? Try to just
Yeah, what is-
explain
basically
the
Tarkov.
genre.
you go in with like almost nothing or like a gun or something. You grab loot, you extract into like a different menu
That's
or like
not-
other. That's an extraction. Yeah, that is what it is.
That just
Yeah,
sounds
that's
like
an extraction
a,
shooter.
it just sounds
What would
like
be
a,
an example
thing.
of an extraction shooter besides Tarkov? Give me another one.
So the you heard about that marathon game that Bungie was gonna make?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's an. Oh yeah, you said it's an
That was gonna
extraction
be an
shooter.
Extraction shooter. Yeah.
I didn't hear about that one. I don't know what that is.
I don't know if
There's
you're
been a couple
in
other games.
party.
Once again, not a genre I'm very interested in. I don't care for Tarkov, but it does look like a lot of studios are now saying, "Okay, battle royale is kind of
Going out,
done
it's going out.
between Call of Duty and Fortnite. There's no room for anything else, especially as the genre
Yeah,
does
the
decline."
niche has been filled, man.
Right.
We
Well,
need,
not-
they need to
right.
make a new niche, and I guess the extraction shooter is going to be the new niche.
This is just like
Right.
evolution, but like with this is pretty much just technological like survival of the fittest at this point.
However, I will say this with the new niche as far as the battle royale going out. I was watching a couple streamers. I remember watching this like a year ago or 2 years ago. A lot of people were, or at least in these chats of these streamers, they were talking about that the one thing that may revive voice crack. Fuck you. And one thing that may revive battle royale would be like Halo. People were saying there should be a Halo battle royale.
Oh, I remember that, and I got so pissed off.
People keep saying that. I think it's dumb.
I think it would be
now
worth
now
entertaining.
it doesn't.
It would never
It doesn't
work. It would
work
never
now.
fucking work.
If it came out, if it was on like
No,
how Battlefield,
no,
not Battlefield,
no,
Halo, like how you know
I think
like Halo
2020 was
5.
too late. I think 2020 was
It
too
would-
late for battle royale
Dude,
or Halo battle royale.
it never like Halo in general. And I'm sorry to say this, Halo's dead, man. Like Halo, like nothing's
It's
gonna revive
over.
Halo. Halo's been dead since Halo 5 came out. Even if they came out with a battle royale, it's not gonna get any new people. It's gonna get the old people to be like, oh look, it's a Halo battle royale. We should play this then.
Hey,
It's not
man,
gonna get any new people to come in.
for the record,
that's-
I don't
that's
think
the problem.
Halo will ever die. It may have a low player base.
It won't get in
But you
better
know what?
games.
Spartans never die. Okay, they're
I'm gonna
just
end the podcast
missing in
after that.
action.
I'm gonna
Okay?
say no,
Yeah.
no, come on.
Yeah,
that was a great note.
That's the way to end it. Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
great note to end
Spartans
on.
never die.
They just go missing.
They're just missing in action.
I just want to say, and
I'm gonna
I
end
just
my
want to say,
career as a
Twitter.
YouTuber.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Did you
Big
say?
dicks in your ass.
please follow us on bigblackgraps.com. Please make sure to subscribe to Punk's OnlyFans, and yeah.
You're never ending anything.
See you guys.
You're never ending any video ever.
See you guys.
If you sneeze during this video, bless you. Peace out. Just ripping off Damascus.
If you sneezed in this video, bless you.
Peace
Yeah, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us,
My favorite-
tell us what
My
kind of
favorite
game
Damascus
genre you
episode
wish
was
would come out.
when he beat his girlfriend. That was my favorite.
I love getting talked over at the end of my video. It's weird.
Are you done recording?
No,
Cut that out.
this is a podcast. I ain't. Other than that one retard, well, two.
I gotta get it. Yeah, I said retard like 5 times or something.
Well, now it's 3. He's got to edit out.
I got to sit through this whole recording session because I wasn't paying attention to any time zones. I've been driving around in GTA this whole
Also,
I
time.
was. It wasn't too bad. There was just the one.
Yeah, other than the last 3 retards you said.
4 or 5.
This is gonna be a
At least
long.
these are all spaced in the same spot.
Anyway, well, I need to hear
There's
some
gonna be a
people that have
long
edited out
bleep
more.
at the
Okay,
end of this
everyone,
video.
Have a
Maybe-
good night. Have
Yo,
a good
people,
night.
maybe you should.
And
have just
see you guys.
ended-
I'm tempted to just deleting this whole fucking file
No,
after
don't
that.
delete
Did
it.
that
Actually,
last,
good. That was
after
actually
that
good. We had
Spartan
good, like,
never die. I was so tempted to be like, yeah, I'm just deleting this.
we had good synergy towards the end after we
wouldn't
stopped the
be
first
terrible.
discussion.
Dude, that was a good episode. What are you talking about?
that was good discussion. Still having it in the video.
Oh, I think you ended it,
Nope.
dumbass.
Shut up, dumbass.
Guys, we hate our fans. Please and subscribe to the channel.
If you're poor, don't watch my
You
videos.
don't have any fans.
If you like this video, please jump off the nearest bridge of your city.
If you like this video, you must like giving me money. Go to my Patreon that I don't have in the link of this.
OnlyFans.
Go to
That's
my
your
OnlyFans.
fans.
But
It's your face.
in all seriousness, if you guys like this podcast,
Bro, stop giving serious outros.
serious,
Loop, let him do his fucking outro. Well, I was gonna say it, but I don't want to give him more editing.
thank you, Mustang.
You know what I was gonna say.
We all knew.
I was gonna say.
Oh my god.
Type in the comments below what you thought Loop was going to finish his sentence with.
That's the question of the day.
That's the question of the day.
What was the word I was gonna say? What? Sorry, what? Alright, and
This episode's
see ya,
never gonna
guys.
end.
I just said see you guys like 3 times. To just end it now.
We don't know how to end a podcast, guys.
We already did.
Not a
Just
start
end
one
it.
either.